Hello, everyone, and welcome to LabGab. This is a new podcast series that's being sponsored by SS White, and it is allowing us to bring guests on roughly every couple of weeks to talk about topics of interest to all of us in the laboratory industry. Our first guest is Billy Goddard, who is a friend and colleague of mine and a client as well for a number of years now. Billy runs a very, very successful full-service laboratory in Kingsport, Tennessee, and Billy's going to share some insights with us. But Billy, first I'd like to ask you about your experience with the new DuraDi cam Burs from SS White that you tested.
Well, first off, how you doing, David? It's good to see you. I appreciate you having me on here with you, and especially letting me be your first guest.
My pleasure.
So yeah, the Burs, they were wonderful. So when you first came to me and asked us to test some of these, I was a little skeptical. Everybody's got a milling burr out there, but once we tried them, the results spoke for themselves. We got more mills than we've gotten out of any other burr that we had tried, and clean, good margins, which is the most important thing that we can have while milling zirconia.
So how many zirconia units are you running a month these days?
We're running about 600 to 650 a month right now.
Very good. And which software are you running for your rolling mill in particular?
We're running Hyperdent for our rolling mill.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Billy was instrumental. He was the first investigator of this new product, and now I've got over a dozen laboratories around the country that have had the same results. And I know SS White is very pleased with the way these are performing. So we're getting more production, and I believe you've got a cost savings somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25% as well, which is really a win-win.
Yeah, well, all the cycles that we tested and ran with the SS White Burs, we were getting over 750 units per set of Burs, as opposed to, depending on where you fall in the spectrum, if you're buying some of the cheapest Burs you can find, or some of the other Burs on the market, we were ranging anywhere from maybe 100 mils to 400 and some mils.
Yeah, and I know you appreciate the fact this is a U.S. made product as well.
Yeah, that's huge for me. It's huge for our company. We believe in American manufacturing, and something I really commend SS White for doing.
Outstanding. Yeah, and I know during this time of this last year, and as we continue to go on into this year, back orders have really been a major issue for us in the laboratory industry, and it's nice not to have to deal with that with the product being manufactured here.
Absolutely.
So, Billy, I wanted to have you talk a little bit about your success over the last few years. I've known you now on a very personal level for about 4.5 years, and I've seen what explosive growth you've experienced. And I wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about that level of growth and what you attribute your success to.
Well, we've had a very rapid level of growth. I think it's attributed to a numerous amount of things, but at the end of the day, I think it's we're a company that's run with integrity. We keep our word. We do the right thing in the situations, and we focus on quality. My business model is not to be the cheapest person on the block. I want to still take pride in what we produce and understand there's a patient that's receiving that product, and they deserve the best.
What would you say your percentage of growth has been, let's just say, in the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years, we're steadily growing over 20% a year.
Very good. And you were able to accomplish that even during this year of COVID, I believe, too, right?
Yeah, we had surprisingly a wonderful 2020. I would have loved to see what it would have shook out to be if COVID would have never stepped into the picture, but I'm sure everybody listening does too. But yeah, it's into 2021, and we're going along at a good pace and still seeing that steady growth. So very thankful.
I know from a national perspective, consolidation has really had a tremendous impact on our business. And we, at one point, of course, were way down and losing labs and losing technicians, but our industry is very healthy. And there's no surprise to me that you've been as successful, and I know you'll continue to. Would you talk a little bit about where you're finding your employees and how you're onboarding and so forth?
Yeah, so we're having the same trouble as any lab across the country. It's hard to find skilled technicians. The dental schools have all went by the wayside except for a few. So I really have to find my guys and train them in-house. And we've been very successful with that. I've been very fortunate to bring in a lot of young people that are committed to this as their career for the rest of their life. And we train them very well and hopefully build technicians that we'll have around for the next 20, 30 years.
What type of resources are you utilizing for your training?
Other than David Avery Consulting?
Absolutely.
No, so, David, you've done a lot of training for us and continue to do so. And PTC is probably the primary backbone of all of our training. To me, it's a phenomenal system. It gets to the basics, it simplifies it, and it's really a good starting point for anybody. And it's a good place to go back to for skilled technicians if you've never been through PTC.
Very good. And I know that you and your father went back into business together, partnership a couple of years ago, and you've had the PTC system in the building for a long time.
Yeah, actually, my dad invested in PTC, the old very first version that John Ness came out with, and on a VHS tape, if there'll be people out there that don't know what that is, but but yeah, around the year 2003, 2004, we invested in the PTC 2000 system and hit the ground running with it. And to this day, we still use that same system.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's really been a great tool for us. We have so few resources that are in the can, so to speak, that it's nice to have something to go to. And yeah, my experience as well has been significant with the system, and it's hard to beat.
Yes, it is.
Billy, talk a little bit about the makeup, the age makeup, the spectrum, if you will, of your team as well, because I know you've got a well-balanced team, but talk a little bit about the younger folks and how you stumbled into them, so to speak, if you would.
Yeah. So, well, myself, I'm 36 years old. I would say the average age across my lab is right around 35 years old. I've got people there that are just out of high school, but I've got people that are seasoned veterans and in their 60s, and it takes a good blend of all of those people to make it happen. I really hope that my younger technicians look to these more seasoned technicians and pull the wisdom and knowledge from them that they've gained over the years, because like we said, that's something that you just can't find anymore.
Yeah, your experienced team members have been really awesome and willing to share, and been good mentors for those folks as well.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and I'm so happy that you've had great results with the DuraDi Burs. There's lots more new products coming down the pipeline for SS White, and it's really been a pleasure for me personally to work with these guys for the last year, and excited about continuing this series. Billy, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you, SS White, and I appreciate the products. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. And for those of you watching, for more information on SS White products, please go to sswhitedental.com. and pay attention for an offer that will be following at the end of this on the DuraDi product line. Thank you so much.